And you are live. I don't know about you guys, but whenever I'm seeing that you are live, it's like, am I live? Yet in the same time, I still have my half-eaten gingerbread here with you until people are going to show up. I also have my tea. This time it's going to be a honey bush, something like that, orange, and there's something else also inside. There are two types of oranges. This is the Twilight tea. It is just a naturally flavored herbal tea. How is everyone doing? Still waiting for people to show up? Until then, I'm going to eat my face off. Right here in front of you. Because apparently I'm European and I'm eating in front of the camera. Therefore, talking with my mouth full, because why not? So we're just going to wait a few more minutes until people are going to join this call. And then we're going to let it rip. I have all the questions submitted via DMs. And I also have here enabled, if you have a question, just feel free to drop it in the comment section and it's going to show up on my end. Okay. So we are live. Suddenly I became subconscious of eating on the camera, even if no one is watching right now. If you're going to be watching this, the replay, probably you're going to have fun. Okay, allow me to just drink a bit of water beforehand. Let's remove my face from the stage. Face is added back for your visual pleasure. All right, so give it 2 minutes. If you're here, welcome. I cannot see all of you here right now on live, but if you're here, welcome. I am Noemi, co-founder of ScaleWave, and very interestingly, I'm seeing that we already have a few views or viewers. Sorry, that is the right term. So hey, and welcome. Excited to start today's Amazon PPC AI scale session. This is live from our humble Fort Lauderdale home studio. So hi everyone and welcome. And already people are showing up. Amazing, cool, great. I absolutely love this. And we also have lots of viewers. And apparently live, it's working fine for us. So hi everyone and welcome. I'm Noemi, co-founder of ScaleWave. We are a digital marketing agency specialized in helping sellers between 5 to 6 figures, even 7 figures. We're helping them on Amazon. And today we have this Amazon PPC live session. I'm more than happy to answer your questions here from the chat. Also, I was submitted a few questions via DM, so I'm going to answer those all. Someone is asking, where am I from? I am from Fort Lauderdale, Florida. This is where I'm calling from. Where are you from? Feel free to answer in the chat. Okay, to make things as consistent as possible, allow me to go forward with the questions that have been submitted. So Amazon PPC strategy, how do you decide which targeting strategy to use in Amazon PPC and which one actually works best for beginners? So this is a great question. And when it comes down to Amazon PPC strategy, what you would need to know is strategy is simply how are you going to plan ahead to achieve a goal. That is how I'm describing strategy. And then the goal has multiple subtasks, right? So when it comes down to those first one is going to be figuring out how much inventory do you have for one particular product. This is one of the things that most of the time, even if we are talking about Amazon PPC, people are not even going to think about inventory, yet it is the crucial aspect of any PPC strategy. So one, check on the available products that you have, which one has most inventory. And then second, what you're going to check if you have kind of similar inventory for two products, for example, that you want to prioritize strategizing for, which one is the most profitable for you? Because giving you an example, we're managing a brand that has multiple variations for the same product. It has 30, 90, 100 count items that they are selling them under separate listings. These are variations. It's basically the same product. However, what we noticed is that the $30 product and the 30 count product and the 90 count product, because they have different price range, even if from the 30 count we're going to sell 1,000 units, and from the 90 count we're going to sell 200 units or 300 units, the 90 count is still going to win just because it's priced differently. All right, so first step is going to be decide the product that you're going to advertise. Then the second thing is going to be, all right, now that you decided that, when it comes down to strategy, especially PPC strategy, which type of campaigns are you going to run and what is going to be the strategy behind them? Here at ScaleWave, what we're doing is we are categorizing these strategies both for us to understand what is the technique behind and the goal behind, and also for our clients to see and understand why are we running those strategies. So ScaleWave, we are doing the Evergreen framework, which basically are 5 strategies. So the first one is going to be protect. Here we're going to run ads towards our own products and our own listings, right? The second strategy, it is conquer, which is going to, the strategy is conquer, which is basically you're going to target your competitor's product. And here what you're going to do, you're going to see, okay, who else is advertising and how can I advertise either on or piggyback on their listings, right? So that is going to be the second one. The third one is going to be you're going to target competitors who have less reviews or who have poorer listing than you have. And that type of strategy is, again, just ensuring that you are going to showcase your own listings wherever you would have advantage of. We also have a ranking strategy, which basically means we are going to target an exact match, either keywords, either products that we are going to advertise on. The one more strategy, it is dominate, which is basically for this strategy, we already have data that something works well. And this is going to be a placement domination strategy, which basically if there's a specific placement where a keyword or a target, it's working really well, those are going to be the placements that you want to ensure that you're going to dominate, aka show up within the first result. And then the very last one is going to be the discover strategy. So for the discover strategy, we are going to create auto broad phrase match category targeting campaigns where we are going to see, all right, so we already know what works for us, but how about we're going to let Amazon to decide which are the things that our products are going to showcase if someone is going to look for it or search for it, right? So that can be more targeted when it comes down to broad match or phrase match, where you already have the exact keyword, but you are looking for relevant longer tail keywords, or it can be automatic campaigns where you're seeing, look, Amazon, this is my product, which are the products that you think would, or which are the keywords that you think would fit best for my product. So that is the strategy there. Okay. Next question. By the way, guys, if you have any other questions, feel free to drop them here in the comment section. In simple terms, what exactly is Amazon PPC and why do sellers need it? Love it. Okay, so in simple terms, what Amazon PPC is Amazon pay-per-click, and basically it's Amazon's advertising platform where they're allowing you to spend money on marketing your own products. This is in very, very simple terms so you can understand basically how it works. And here, this is based on a CPC model, meaning it's cost per click. So whenever someone is going to see your product and they're going to click on it, only then you're going to be charged. There's also an option to create ads that are per view. So whenever someone is going to see the ad, it's going to charge you, right? Those are the ones that I would not necessarily recommend, but I would highly recommend the CPC model when it comes down to choosing which model do you want to go for. Think about the notion of campaign memory. Okay, interesting question is coming up. In the chat, it asks, what do you think about the notion of campaign memory? So, not necessarily campaign memory, but campaign history. There is something that we were discussing also internally, and we wanted to see how it's going to work. Basically, what it means is that a campaign, if you generated enough history, usually it's going to perform better than a newer campaign. And what I mean by this is it has data or enough data that already knows better how certain keywords are going to work. But here, right now, I am just a bit, let's say there's not enough information for this particular topic to make it sound that that is the truth. Reason why I'm saying that if that would be true, then any new campaign that ever you would create, it would be as predestined to fail. So that's why I'm saying that right now what we're seeing on our end, yes, some older campaigns are working really well for some reason, but also newer campaigns are working well. So this is why I cannot say that, hey, older campaigns are going to outperform newer campaigns, because we have data that proves that that is not the case. So let me know how it works. What is your ethnicity? I'm Romanian, but I'm bilingual, so Romanian and Hungarian. I'm currently living in Fort Lauderdale. Remember, guys, any Amazon PPC question, happy to answer them, okay? Because that's the topic for today. So Amazon PPC campaign. What's an async targeting campaign in Amazon PPC, and when should you use it? Great question. So the async targeting, basically what this is, whenever it comes down to targeting, there are two targeting types. You can target either keywords, so words itself, whenever someone is looking for a product on Amazon. Giving you an example, this is a Blistex medicated mint balm. So whenever they would look for this product, they would look up with those keywords, right? But what else can happen also? They can target, it can be that you are targeting this listing, right? So the async, the identifier on Amazon of this listing, so your product is going to show up on that product. So basically that is async targeting campaign. And when should you use it? I believe you should be using it all the time. You should first prioritize keyword targeting, I believe, because that is most effective for most of the campaigns that I think. However, it's going to become very effective async targeting whenever you're going to be in a very expensive niche. This is something that we're seeing on our end. Right now, we just onboarded client this week, and what we're seeing on their end, the cost per click for specific certain search terms that are describing exactly their product is around $5. So we want to win for those search terms, aka in this case keywords, because we were talking about async targeting versus keyword targeting. But what we noticed is that if we're going to write that specific keyword within the search bar, there are going to come up many competitor products against which we have a competitive advantage on. So, for example, our pricing is better than theirs. We have multiple reviews. We are better positioned. We have brand recognition. We are backed by someone who's an influencer in the industry. So in that case, whenever we would be advertising on their listings, we have a competitive advantage against their listings. So in that case, what we want to see is if async targeting is going to be cheaper for us, we are going to go ahead and target those asyncs. So that's why I'm saying that async targeting is something that you can apply anytime within your account. It's just going to come down, especially when it's a very competitive niche. Should you start first with async targeting, or should you start with keyword targeting? And that's when I would recommend first look up keyword targeting. How much does it cost? And then how well do you convert? And if that is very expensive for you, look up async targeting. So one more question that came up. Muhammad, you have great questions. Feel free to drop your questions, lots of questions. Can bidding strategy affect the conversion efficiency in the longer run? That's a great question. And I believe it can. Um, and hear me out. So we just, as I was mentioning, we just took over an account this week, and they had a lot of campaigns where the bidding, it was bid up and down. And as you know, bid up and down, it's going to work well if your bid is going to be lower. However, if the bid is high already and you're going to have the strategy bid up and down, clearly you have no more control on CPC, so how much you're going to bid. So what we're seeing on our end is actually yesterday it was still bid up and down, and then around 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock p.m. EDT time, we changed that to down only. And right now we are seeing that we're attracting less visibility. So when it comes down to conversion efficiency, I do believe that Amazon is going to look out for promoting your product whenever you're like, okay, here is my money, Amazon, take it. So I do believe that up and down as a strategy is going to bring more eyeballs, but the end, it's depending on the strategy. And for this account, what we've seen is that while it was okay managed previously, what we are seeing on our end, there was a lot of bleeding on the account that was previously like not addressed. So a down only strategy, it allows us to become way more profitable on our end. And how we then manage the next part is we creating new campaigns. So by creating new campaigns, again, it's bid down only strategy, but we have a higher CPC, and we are showcasing our ads on the first placement, top of search first placement for the most important keywords that we want to rank for. I'm seeing that as a more viable strategy. Of course, let me know what do you think, and if you have additional feedback on that. But that's something that I'm seeing on our end is just going to help way more with efficiency. Okay, so we answered already the async targeting question. How do you set up and manage manual PPC campaigns on Amazon? So very simply, and also let me give you guys a quick feedback on manual campaigns. Manual campaigns, you're going to find them in sponsored product campaigns. And basically, manual campaigns is going to be, you are going to have the biggest control over whatever you want Amazon to show to whoever is going to shop for your product. And basically what you would do is you would just log into your ad console, you would go into sponsored products, and then there's two options. Either you're going to select the automatic targeting or manual targeting. So in this case, you would select manual targeting. And there are two options when it comes down to manual targeting. You can either add keyword, so words itself, or you can add products, the topic that I just addressed a few moments ago when we were talking about async targeting. So that would be the way how you would set up manual campaigns. Let me know if that answers your question. Okay, what does self-targeting mean in Amazon PPC, and how do you use it to boost ranking? This is a great question. So basically, self-targeting, this is also part of our protect strategy, which basically is going to be, we are going to add our own asins within a campaign. And then we are just going to assure that, for example, if we have multiple asins, as I was just mentioning, the brand with multiple variations. So if they have a 30 count, if they have a 90 count, if they have a 100 count, what we're going to assure is if they also have it in multiple flavors, because this is like a consumable product, what we're going to do, we are going to advertise our own listings on our own listing already. Why? Because if we're not going to do that, someone else will. So as a strategy, when it comes down to looking up on showcasing your product on other listings, that is also something that our competitors are doing to our own listings. So they are going to showcase their products on our listing. So basically this self-targeting strategy, what it means is that you are going to showcase your own products so you can upsell, or maybe someone clicked on your listing, it is a lemon flavor and they would like orange flavor, and you also have the orange flavor. So what you can do on your end, you can add also the orange flavor to target that lemon flavor product, and that way if they want to choose the lemon flavor, or the orange flavor, no matter what they are going to do, if they're clicking like within the listings and they are seeing, okay, what else is showcasing there on the product detail page, at least our listing is going to show up. Also, this strategy proves to be one of the protect strategies. Why? Because why we want to showcase our own ASINs on our own detail page is to avoid someone else showcasing their listings. And here, especially when we are seeing, it's kind of a debate when it comes down to Amazon PPC Advisor. Some people are saying that, hey, you should not be paying for your own brand name or for advertising your own products because that is just going to be way too expensive and you don't see positive results on it. Let me tell you that from our end, what we're seeing, that is not the case. So I would highly advise you, if you want to try out the self-targeting method, which basically you're going to add your own products within a campaign that you're creating, let me know what do you see on your end. So far on our end, we're seeing that we are always showcasing on our products, and that helps the brand. So it really comes down to, hey, do you see any difference between if you're not going to target anymore your brand name or your own ASINs or not? We have not seen anything that is significantly higher or better than if we're not going to apply this strategy. Next question. Why am I getting a bunch of clicks but no sales on my Amazon campaigns? This is such a funny question and really good question. Actually, we were just auditing one more account, I think 2 days ago, 3 days, on Friday. So 3 days ago. And they had exactly the same question, like, why do I get all these clicks and I don't get conversion on it? And there can be, I believe, 5 main steps why, and this is something that's up to you to decide once that you're going to go through this 5-step process. So the first thing, it's going to be, all right, look up whatever you're targeting, is that relevant to your listing or not? Because you can get clicks on, hey, you're just showcasing the product and someone is interested, but once that they're going to click within, it's like, oh, actually, this is not the product that I was looking for, right? So what that means is that your main image might be attractive, but they don't mean to buy the product. Second, it's going to be, what category are you selling in? Because, for example, if you're going to sell a couch or an item where people take more time to decide if they're going to purchase or not, it's going to convert differently than an item that is, I don't know, consumable. I just bought these protein bars. I knew clearly that that is something that I want to buy, and I just went ahead with it, and I converted right away, basically, right? So is it one of those categories where people, it takes more time for them to decide? Or is it something that for sure they needed, a protein bar, a detergent, or whatsoever, that they would buy right away? Are you that kind of product? Then the third thing is going to be, so now that they clicked within the listing, and this is also relevant to what I was just bringing up of why would you target your own ASINs on your own listing? Did it happen that by chance they clicked within your listing, but they were like, maybe the images are not so persuasive, but once that they scrolled on the listing, they found a different listing, a different product that actually works better for them? So that could be also one of the ways to see, hey, there is not anymore a conversion issue when it comes down to how related the term is that someone would look up and find my product with, but once they click within my listing, they are generally not interested to buy my product just because they found a better version of whatever I'm selling, or a cheaper version. The fourth thing is going to be the cheaper, actually. So if they found your product and you don't really differentiate so much by the product that you sell between you're selling it for $15 and someone else is selling it for $12, people might convert on the $12 item, especially if they are very, very similar to yours. The next thing that you can look into, why do you have clicks but no conversion? It's going to be the type of shipment that you're providing. So are you selling an FBA item or are you selling an FBM item? Because these fulfillment types, the both of them, as I was just giving you the example with the protein bar. Let's say this is a product that is going to convert right away because I know I want to buy a protein bar right away, pricing is good and everything is fine. But if the protein bar that I want to purchase is going to arrive in 2 hours, for example, because sometimes like Amazon, because we have a warehouse that's super near to us, it's going to literally arrive in 2 hours versus it's going to arrive even in 2 days or even in 2 weeks. If it's an FBM, it could be even 2 weeks. Then highly likely that even if your images work well, even if the main image is it's splendid and you're explaining exactly how your product is and the benefits of your product, they would still not convert just because the delivery time is going to take longer. So as you can see, there's multiple ways how you can look into this. What I would do on my end, I would just write down everything what I just talked about, go through your data and analyze it that way. How can authors use Amazon PPC as part of a successful book launch strategy? All right, so I love this question, and I love it because there's no much difference when it comes down to, are you selling a book? Are you selling a wholesale product? Are you selling not a private label product? Let's put it that way. So you as a book author, you would use the exact same strategies as you would use for a private label product. And we've also managed, I believe 2 years ago, something like that, a KDP account, so Kindle Direct Publishing account. And we would apply exactly the same strategies. We would advertise our own listings on, or our own products, or on our own listings, especially if they are relevant, or especially if it's from the same author. It makes sense. Why not to do that? We would also create auto campaigns to discover new targets. We would also create exact match campaigns to rank for specific search terms. So there is not much difference when it comes down to strategy. And I believe KDP campaigns are even better because when you're selling KDP, it's not a hard copy. You have an unlimited availability of inventory. So there's advantage to it. Now, when it comes down to managing a KDP account, back when we managed the account, we did not have access to bulk files, and bulk files is the method or tool that we are using to create new campaign, change campaign names, optimize bids, and that was a huge disadvantage, right? Especially because this brand had multiple, like 300 books, and we had to manually adjust the bids for all those books and all those campaigns. So that's why I'm saying that if you found a way on how to pair this up with a tool that is going to help optimization, I would highly recommend. But if it comes down to manual campaign, bid optimization and negation and all that, it's going to be way more complicated. When it comes down to strategy, exactly the same strategy. Is Amazon PPC campaigns, can I schedule them out? Should I be using that strategy and when? So that's an interesting question. Yes, you can technically schedule out the campaign to be launched not on the day that you are creating the campaign. When we would be using this strategy? Usually whenever we are creating campaigns, we are creating them right away and launching them right away. Now, if you have some specific promotion that you're running, then you could schedule this out. And also if you just want to prepare, for example, let's give you an example with an onboarding. We had an onboarding for one account, and we knew clearly what are the campaigns that we want to create and which are the keywords that we want to target. And in that case, really it was just efficiency on our end to make sure that when there's enough inventory available, the campaigns are going to run. So in that case, we scheduled them out. Other than that, I'm not seeing any other advantages of scheduling out campaigns, but this could be some of the methods that you could be using that feature. What PPC strategy should I focus on in Q4 to really take advantage of the holiday rush? Great question. Again, I'm starting with a non-PPC item, which is inventory. Now, no matter what strategy am I going to share here with you, if you don't have enough inventory available, there's really nothing that you can do because you are just going to run out of stock. So first strategy when it comes down to PPC campaigns, I'm still going to list inventory, ensure that for Q4, you're going to have enough inventory. Now, a subtask of inventory, it's going to be ensure that you have a clear view of how much inventory would you need, because what we want to avoid is overstocking. So if you have data for even previous months, if you launched the product at least 3 months ago or so on, you already have a better understanding on how does your inventory move from month by month, even if you're going to increase sales. But what you don't want to end up with is pile up too much inventory for this season. By too much, I mean, if you know that you're going to sell, let's say, 1,000 units in normal months, if you know that your product is not a giftable item, if you know that your peak season is not Q4 but is Q1, like for many supplements or many like medication or so on, that is when is their Q4, so that's their peak season. Then the strategy should be, first off, understand what is realistic for you to sell. And then second, what you can do is plan ahead at least for 2 months, but not more. Reason why I'm saying that is because Amazon is going to really penalize you if you're not going to be able to sell out that inventory. So storage fees are going to be way, way higher. Then the next thing that you would be thinking of when it comes down to Q4, Q4 is usually the season whenever people are going to check, but probably not buy right away. So clicks are going to be way higher when it comes to this. Conversion is going to be way lower when it comes to this season. So just make sure that all the campaigns that you know clearly that it did not prove to be efficient for the past even 30 days or so on, just pause them for now. If you want to create new campaigns and just apply new strategies, you can still. But what I would advise, everything that you for sure see that it did not work, even if you have the chance to go back and pull the search and report data for the past 65 days, look through your search and report, see what really did not convert and what it's really not relevant for your product. Those are the first things that we would be pausing. So that is also there a tip for you on how to prepare for it. And then, as I was saying, the third and really important thing is going to be understand that Q4, it is just a quarter that is defined by 4. Your Q4 or the peak season, it can be for different categories during different quarters. So that's important. Christmas sweaters, discount, Christmas sucks. All right. Danielle, let me know if you have a question. Regards this, sounds interesting. I'm curious if you have a question there. But yes, we were talking about seasonality, and that could be a good idea on approaching advertising your own products on your own listings. All right, we're 30 minutes in. Let's go into the next question. How do I sell beef jerky online? Love the question. Well, I'm not sure if there's a limitation on selling online beef jerky. I know that some time ago we had a brand that we managed and their beef jerky listing were taken off. So I think that it's going to be, you're going to deal with specific documents that you have to send Amazon, that you can showcase that you can sell those products on Amazon. I think that is going to be the only thing. Very similar to whenever there would be multiple products and you would have to have a clear, like, look, during this season I can sell the product. The same way here for items that are consumables, you must showcase exactly the documents that you're asking for. In case that you're not sure of that, what I would do on my end, I would just create a case log and, hey, this is my product. What you can do on your end, maybe if you don't have it already on Amazon, you can take a competitor's product, right? Take their product and just look, this is something that I want to sell on Amazon. It's not my product, but I see that they are selling it. Can you please tell me which documentation do I need in order to sell it on the platform? And then they are going to provide you all the documentation that you would need. So I think that it's going to be the best way for you to go with it. What are some practical ways to lower ACOS without killing my sales? That's a phenomenal question, because what we're seeing on our end is most of the time, once that you're going to go for profitability and you're going to limit your budget on things that are too expensive, you're also going to reduce sales. So here, the best strategy for you is going to be finding the sweet spot when it comes down to your ACOS. And that's what basically means, let's say that you have a 60% ACOS and you're aiming for a 30% ACOS. So what you can do is, say every 2 days, you can lower your bid by 5%, lower more, until you see that, hey, right now with this bid, let's say from $2, you're right now at 150 and you're still having the same amount of sales. That is success. But let's say that you would need to get to $1 in order to be profitable and to get to your ACOS goal of 30%. So that's when you're going to see, okay, where is the sweet spot when for this particular keyword I can genuinely create the same amount of sales without losing revenue, right? So that is going to be our strategy when it comes down to that. And what else I can suggest there? So always when it comes down to optimization, people like to think that optimization means that you're going to reduce spend. And while, yes, that is true, the way how we are optimizing at scale, we were not looking into how can I remove spend, but what other campaigns should I be creating that could be more profitable for us? And this ties really nicely in the very first, I think, first few questions that came through the Amazon Live today. And it was asking about self-targeting, or was asking about async targeting. So when we know clearly that, hey, there's no way for us to reduce even more our bids, because if we do so, we genuinely don't get any more impressions, then we will look up other strategies. So when you're asking about how to lower your ACOS without killing sales, first, we would optimize, right? So we are going to optimize, we are going to lower our bids. Second way to optimize, we are going to look into what are the keywords that are not converting at all for us, and we are going to pause them. But then the third thing is going to be, so which are the keywords that are working for us, or maybe other strategies that could be working for us that we have not yet tried. So that would be our process here. Okay. If you had to break down Amazon PPC into a full beginner-friendly mini course, what would be the key steps? Okay, so if I would wanted to break this down into a mini course, what I would do, because I have tutorials, lots of tutorials on my YouTube channel, I would advise you to just check out my YouTube channel. It's Noemi Bolojan, Noemi Bolojan, and that way you could find videos on exact that are super beginner friendly, keeping in mind that whenever I learned 5 years ago Amazon ads, it was all over the place. It was not like, this is the way how you should be learning it, rather than learn this hack, learn this trick, learn whatsoever strategy. And then I'm like, okay, but I cannot replicate success. So if it comes down to that, I would highly recommend my channel, because my channel is strategically made as simple as possible. But if it comes down to beginner-friendly mini course, and the first steps that I would look into, I would want to understand the basics, because what I'm seeing on my end, most of the time, whenever someone starts Amazon ads, they're going to jump to the latest strategies and the tools and the software that they could be using right away. And that is the biggest mistake that I'm seeing, or one of the biggest mistakes. Reason for that is because you don't understand the basics and the fundamentals. And the basics and fundamentals are bids. So how much are you going to bid in order to make profit? And then targets. What are you going to target, either asins, either keywords, in order for you to be relevant and for your strategies to succeed? So those two things are going to be really important. And the third thing, the evergreen PPC strategy, I have also content regards this specific topic. Please look it up, Noemi Bolojan, the evergreen PPC strategy. And there I am just taking a super, like, very big topic of what type of ad should be creating and framing it into this strategy is for this strategy for to protect your own product, this is to go and piggyback sales on someone else's product, this is to rank, this is to rank on specific things that you already know that it's going to work for you, and that this other strategy is to discover new keywords. So that is going to be, again, a huge step for you, because then you will think like a strategist and not a follower. So those would be the things that I would recommend. And good luck to you. Really hope that I'm going to hear back from you. I was a beginner. I still like to say beginner, but 5 years ago, really, I did not understand at all PPC. Next question is, what's the right way to scale Amazon PPC without blowing up my ACOS? Yeah, so that's a great question. And I would start with, scaling is one of those things that people think that you have to gain right away weight, because otherwise you cannot scale. In our eyes, when we're talking about scaling, is first thing that we're going to look into is, what are the things that I need to hold back on? So now the budget that I have, that I invested, it's going to work in a better way for us. So what we would do, even when it comes down to scaling, we would first optimize. We would first optimize everything that it did not for the past 30 days, that is not part of our current strategy, we would pause. Everything that is not anymore relevant, we would pause. Anything that is maybe a seasonal campaign that we tried, we would pause. So first up, we would cut back on everything that is not anymore relevant. Second thing, we are going to double down on everything that works. And by doubling down, what I mean, hey, if you see that these specific search terms, once that you downloaded your search term report, they work for you and you have not created yet campaigns with them, either in phrase match, broad match, exact match, what you would be doing, you are going to add them within those type of match types. Maybe you're seeing that you actually did create it already, those type of campaigns. Next is going to be, all right, so I already have sponsored product campaigns with these specific search terms, aka now keywords. How can I duplicate that success? So you would look into sponsored brand ads and then take the same keywords and see how are they going to perform your sponsored brand ads. Can you replicate the same success from sponsored products? And if yes, amazing. Then the next thing, what you would be looking into, sponsored display ads. Are you already creating sponsored display ads? How do they perform for you? Is there anything that you could be doing better there? So the way how we are seeing it, it's not as much about just creating new campaigns out of nowhere and the same type of campaigns, but rather than what is something that I can duplicate and I can duplicate successfully, right? So that would be the strategy that we would be applying. Let me know if it helped. Okay, next question. Okay, from the comment section, what products do you like to sell yourself, or are you a consultant? So we are both. We started our brand, and actually my origin is not in ad consulting, but we started our own brand on Amazon. It was a pet product. It was a product for cats. And then 2 years in, I was like, okay, this is great. But then 2 years in, I got a lot of questions for people who were, hey, how did you do that? Why are you successful at that? Amazon PPC, I don't really understand it. So basically that passion and that like involvement in the brand transitioned more into the management side. And we started our own agency. And right now, my full focus and full attention is on the agency side, not anymore on the brand side. The brand we are still selling, not anymore on Amazon, but we are still selling. The brand is just like not so much focus right now. Agency is something that I really love, but that specific step of me understanding how to sell on Amazon, what are the most important things that I should be looking at, what are the most important things that I should not care about. Those are the things that I learned by doing it. So I hope that answered your question. How do you decide whether should? So the next question is, how do I decide whether I should pause a keyword or just lower bids? Great. So the way how you would decide that is, first off, you would look at a keyword and look into, hey, is this keyword even relevant? Because even if you're getting clicks, but the keyword is not relevant, that is a clear go-to, hey, pause that keyword because it's not relevant for you. Or maybe it is a keyword that actually you're not even targeting, but it shows up in your discovery campaigns, either your auto campaigns, broad match, phrase match campaigns. In that case, you would negate that keyword. So you're not pausing it technically, but you are not going to allow Amazon anymore to showcase on it. So let's say you're pausing it without pausing it specifically. So now that we ruled out on what for sure it's not working, we would look into, okay, so what works, but it is too expensive for us. So let's say that we have a keyword that is the 100% ACOS, and that means that basically there's zero profit margin on the product. What we are trying to do is lower that bid. So we're going to meet one specific ACOS goal. Let's say that our break-even ACOS, by break-even ACOS, what I mean, the point or the moment whenever you are going to pay more than that product or less than that product, it's going to decide if you're profitable or not. So in this case, let's say we have a 60% break-even ACOS. Our current ACOS is at 100%. We are trying to reduce the bid by bit to see if we can meet the 60% ACOS. If we can, that it means that we successfully reduce the bid without needing to pause the keyword. But first off, I would rule out whatever does not work for me. Clearly, it's not a good match. That is something that I would pause right away without even thinking, should I leave it more time or not? Let me know in the comment section if it's going to be, if this answered the question. Which Amazon PPC report should I check regularly, and how do I read them without getting overwhelmed? Amazing question. Without getting overwhelmed, I especially love that part. That is the plan. So you should not be getting overwhelmed whenever you're looking through your PPC data, but you should be understanding. However, just keep in mind that understanding comes from reps. More reps you're going to do, better, quicker you're going to see pattern, and quicker you're going to be able to decide if something works or not. So back to your question, I think that one of the most important details that you should be looking into is one is the search term report, and this is something that you can download from the measurement tab in your ad console. What we like to do is download it for the past days and look up everything that is not relevant, everything that is relevant but it costs above 100% ACOS, everything that is relevant but it costs less than 100% ACOS, and everything that is super cheap for us to generate sales on. We're going to also look into everything that is in an exact match, everything that is in broad, phrase match, or maybe it's like an auto campaign. That data is going to allow you to see super quickly and decide, is this search term something that I should be targeting? Is this search term something that I should be negating? Is this something that I should be maybe using in an exact match campaign, now that is in a phrase match or a broad match campaign, or even in an auto campaign? So that report is going to be very helpful for you. The next report that I would advise you to look into, that is not going to be overwhelming, is going to be a budget tab, and that is not necessarily a report that you can you can export it from your ad console, but it's not a report that you would generate similar to the search term reports. And the budget tab section is going to allow you to see where does the budget goes and when are you out of budget. Reason why we want to look up that particular tab and have that particular information, that is going to allow you to see, so I have campaigns that are working well for me. Should I be increasing my campaign budget? Should I not? Because what can happen is that your campaign might be very successful and they are converting well for you, and then you are going to miss out on sale just because you're going to cap out your budget, right? So that is going to be the second thing that I will be looking into. Third thing that is not necessarily a report, but again, you can download it from the ad console, is going to be bidding strategy. Now, I was just mentioning a few questions back on taking over this new, like onboarding this new brand, and their strategy was bid up and down. And bid up and down, if you don't have a specific software or tool in place that is going to allow you to calculate exactly what should you bid and how to lower bids, what's going to happen is that no matter how well you're going to strategize optimizing your bids towards profitability, it's not going to work, simply because what we're seeing on our end, and probably you as well, you're going to take the bid, in order to be optimized, you're going to take the CPC. So if your CPC is $3, but your bid it's $2. If you're going to optimize your bids, like if you're going to decrease it to $1.50 even, it's still not going to be helpful because you have the strategy on that it's allowing Amazon to pay $3, $4, $5 even, and you did decrease the bid, but the CPC is still higher. So that is the third thing that I will look into, and that is also not going to overwhelm you. These three strategies alone are going to save you a lot of headache, are going to save you a lot of money, and are going to allow you to have as much control as possible on your account. Right now, these are the first things that I'm thinking. Hopefully, there can be others as well, but these are the most important that I personally would look into. Okay, we have 10 more minutes. Sometimes I get sales on Amazon that come from Amazon, but I'm unsure how those sales occur. Is there a way to track the exact source? So if you're sure that it's not coming from Amazon, I think that right now Amazon just released a new data on the stores section or something like that that is going to allow you to showcase exactly where did a sale come from. I'm going to follow back on that, but that would be the only way how I could look into it. Okay, we've gone through a lot of questions, which is amazing. No new question in the chat. Okay, I'm going to go through one more. So it says, I have around 100K social media followers, but only receive 1 or 2 Amazon orders daily. What could I do to boost conversion? Wow, this is a great question. Simple. Let me share with you a story, because someone just asked in the chat on if we are selling on Amazon or if we're doing both consulting and selling on Amazon. So the way how we started our pet brand was we built up a social following on Instagram, and lots of people were following our content. But what we noticed is, because we started our account in Austria when I started, like 10 years back, something like that. Not 10 years, 5 years, 5, 6, 7, 5. I think it was 6 years. Yeah, 6 years ago, and then 5 years ago we started the brand. So 6 years ago, when we started on social media and we just grew this social media channel like Instagram big. By big, I mean around 100,000 followers, similar to your story. What happened is that we had a lot of followers who were not from the US. So that was the first red flag, that back then it was like, okay, we're just creating this account and it just growth and we have a lot of followers and all of these people are cat owners or cat lovers. They're going to buy for sure our product, which turned out not to be the case. As from the US, I think we had only 40% of our audience, or even less than that. So the first thing, what I would highly encourage you to look into, where is the audience that is following your account from, because that is going to give you realistic expectations. So in our case, there were like 40% of people who were following our content. Second thing that we learned is that it's not so much about following one's content, liking and commenting, but is that a genuine problem that they are facing or not? Because our product was solving a problem. It was not one of these products like cat litter or so on, that was like, or a scooper or something like that you would need to use in case that you have a cat, right? It was a more interesting problem. So it was a protector that is protecting your furniture from scratches, right? That's a very, very specific problem. And what we noticed on our end, it was that 40% US audience went down to 5 to 10%, or even less than that, right? And then we were, okay, so from 100,000 followers, now we're down to maybe 5,000, 10,000 people. And then you're assuming that those people actually are going to buy from you, which is not the case. Because if you're selling your product and if it's not unique and it's not patterned and so on, probably you, just like I, went on Amazon, looked up what is the best-selling product, and you just like, oh, I'm going to make my own version, I'm going to brand it at my own, and it's like, it's going to sell, because the data it shows and the keyword search volume shows that it sells. Yes, it might be, but those are people who are searching on Amazon. Those are not people who necessarily want to buy your product. Maybe they are more price conscious, and if they see that one product is $5 less, they're okay with buying the $5 less product. They're not looking for your brand. So all those things, actually, why I'm sharing this with you and what it taught me is that just because you have that much social media followers, it is not a guarantee for you that you can convert them actual customers that are going to buy your product. So that would be my first advice for you. Look up if those are people that would generally buy your product. And then, of course, reach out via DM, see who is willing to buy, willing to leave a review maybe for your product if they are happy with it. But those would be the steps that I would follow rather than just assume that 100,000 followers are going to convert right away. All right. 4 more minutes to go. Almost all the questions are answered. Okay, one more funny question. What is the craziest thing you've seen people sell? Craziest thing? Really anything. For me personally, the craziest thing that I just saw a while back, a week ago or something like that, leash for kitchen and diapers for kitchen. And again, this sounds crazy for me because I don't have a pet kitchen, a pet chicken. Okay, so I just made this funny. So it was a leash for chicken and a diaper for chicken. So I think that was the funniest thing ever that I saw on Amazon. Maybe it's not the craziest thing, but yeah, there's a lot of like gag items that are like, sold and they're making money. But again, that is a trend by gag item, but I mean something that is like funny or is like pizza shaped, bed or something like that, which is, who's going to buy it? I don't know. I'm not the target audience, but might be people who are going to buy it. Okay, let me see if there's still any more questions here or in any of the chats. If not, we're going to wrap today's session. No need to stay until the end if there are no questions coming in. I certainly hope that you guys found value in these sessions. This is my fifth session. I'm just like, I love these, especially when such good questions are coming in. So yes, we did run through all the sessions, all the questions that have been submitted and also here in the chat. Thanks so much for watching. I do wish you an amazing, amazing day ahead. Yeah, I'm just confirming on my end on all the channels that I'm following right now to ensure that there are no questions coming in. And that's a wrap. Certainly hope that you found value in this video. Again, my name is Noemi. I'm co-founder of ScaleWave. We are a PPC, Amazon PPC advertising agency. Certainly hope that you found value here. Don't forget, next week, same day, same time. It's going to be here with me. All these questions, feel free to comment section, or if you want to drop them in as DM, drop them in LinkedIn as well. Thanks so much for watching. Take care. Have a great day ahead. Bye.